Hey guys, I just wanted to come out and acknowledge this end of service that's taking place right now. I mostly want to say thank you to everybody that's been part of the community, and I would also like to say sorry that I haven't been making videos. A lot of life stuff has been getting in the way. I've just been super overwhelmed just by daily work and life stuff. So I really haven't been making videos. I also wanted to say, since this is the EoS, I'm sorry there was a lot of ideas that I was never able to execute on. I had so many ideas for content that I wanted to make for this channel that I just never got a chance to do because I was just overwhelmed. I might make another video on that, and you'll see that when that comes out. I'll just leave it at that. So I just wanted to thank everyone that's shared this journey, especially everyone that's made it to the end, everybody that's been still playing. Even though I haven't been posting videos, I have still been playing. But as you already know, this game takes a lot of effort to play and to kind of just keep up with. So part of the reason I'm not here is because I'm playing this game and it's just so much to do in this game. Of course, I feel sad to see this game go, but I think most of us already accepted that this day was going to come. So in reality, I am not really super sad about that. What I'm really most sad about is losing access to all the story, all the characters that we've pretty much known for the last 5 years, essentially. All the characters that we love, all the stories that didn't get finished, and like all the little, you know, parts of stories that kind of started but we never came back to. So definitely gonna miss that. Of course, I'm gonna miss the sense of community that we've all had in the game and everybody that's sort of just contributed their part to the game. So I think that this game will be lost to time, but the game and our memories will always live on in our minds. So in a sense, even though I'm upset to see the game go, the actual game itself, I'm kind of like not even that disappointed about. Number one, I just want to say the people that were constantly talking about the game, the EoS coming and all that stuff, that was really annoying, and I wish there was a lot less of that. If you're not going to play the game, just don't play the game. Just leave. Nobody cares. Now, it's a different thing if you're a channel creator. Obviously, people want to know why you left, and that's fine, even if you have a rant. So, and the other thing that I'm not going to miss is the constant disappointment that the game could be doing so much more. Not only with collabs, but in terms of content. And I think I'll get into that into a later section, but I kind of just want to make sure I thank as many people as I can. And I tried to thoroughly go through the list of people that I wanted to thank in terms of creators and stuff like that. So just buckle in, it's going to be a long one. So firstly, I'm going to thank all the big creators. Obviously, we're all super thankful for them. Cabbage for kind of just giving us foresight to what was coming all the time, with like the EX stuff that was coming, and sort of like the thoughts of the Japanese community. Dr. Diggs, because he definitely had a huge effect on this game. I will always remember his tower guides. He was just like really funny about it. And I was low-key thinking that since we got Sir O for free, I figured that there might be a Dr. Diggs collab, or obviously that EoS was coming. It was either one of those two. As collab, as in he was coming back to the game. Secondly, thirdly, I guess I can put Mysidia Gaming and RNJ together. I feel like RNJ is kind of more of almost like a daily content creator, so a little bit more credit to him. But obviously Mysidia and him kind of were making videos around the same time. They both gave reviews, and then RNJ also had all this PvP stuff. And he contributed a lot to the game, so definitely very thankful for him. Next up is Ready Player Will and JB79. By the time they were the ones that were kind of the main guys, they were kind of going into like really high level stuff. I always appreciated Ready Player Will for having like really thorough guides, and like he would always talk about stats, and he would have the report cards. And he would break it down like this character is good for this and not good for that, etc. I always loved how JB79 made like really good guides. They both had really good PowerPoints and like really good visual styles. JB79, I feel like he focused a little bit. He actually had a lot of good videos that were talking about like one of the most memorable ones was the Kill Alaya video where he talked about exactly how you would take down Alaya if you were facing her. So I really loved his high level content for that. But obviously they both work really well together in terms of high level content. Next up is K-San from the WDL. The game really needed a mode like this or something like this where people can do like a draft or, you know, select certain more filters for PvP stuff. Didn't really pan out game wise, but definitely appreciate the content from K-San. Next up is an old school guy, Rindell. He's definitely known for making the MR, doing the MR guides and like the reviews and like guides for like Brutal and Nightmare Quest. I'm pretty sure mostly Brutal at his time, but Rindell was really awesome because he always posted PvP. He would like go in and show what he was doing for PvP. He would do manual PvP. He was really awesome. He's still pretty awesome. I don't know what he's up to now, but super awesome guy. Next up is Palladia. I don't really see a lot of mention of Palladia. She was probably one of the first female War of the Visions creators. She was around for a while. She used to post all sorts of content. She used to stream. She used to do polls, and it was really nice to have the female perspective in War of the Visions from early on. Next up is Umbra Rays. I probably should have put him next to Cabbage, but again, the JP foresight, and a lot of times he was like really, like some of his rants are enjoyable, so definitely good to see him, good to watch his videos. And I think I'm going to give a special thanks to DGenTP. Super great guy. He's been like consistent like ever since this game has started. I think he definitely one of the people that has the perfect attendance. He's been making basically all kinds of content for the game. He streams. He's always into the Trials of Reckoning, guild raids, that kind of stuff. And the thing I like about DGen is that he, you know, we see him pull his characters, but then you see that he's using him in all the different modes. So definitely an awesome guy right there. And I'm pretty sure, along with others, he was pretty much keeping up with it, like pretty much every single character up to a point. So definitely a lot of respect to him. And in general, his streams are really fun. He plays a lot of different games, etc. All right, that's enough. I don't want to go too much into everybody. Next up is kind of like medium level. So not really medium level. The next person is Odaiva. Again, he kind of would lump him in with Cabbage or Umbra Rays. Mostly saw him sort of take up the reins after Cabbage left. And it's definitely another person that's good to give JP insight. Next up is Nerd Knight, one of the really early creators. Nerd Knight was actually two people. I think most of us know Chris. And the thing I remember most about Nerd Knight is that Chris would do guides or like, you know, 10 things you didn't notice about War of the Visions. And I thought those are really good. And there was one point that we made like pretty much the exact same. We had the same idea for our pool video. And it was so funny because I was like, wait, did he copy me? Did I copy him? What's going on? But I'm pretty sure we just posted the same. We just had the same idea. So that was pretty cool. All right. So next up is the smaller creators. I'm going to put their YouTube channel icon up. And this is going to be in no particular order other than the screenshot time. And that's what's going to determine the order that they pop up in. So first one is going to be Spicy Donut. Spicy Donut would always make like Pug artwork, some of the characters in Pug artwork, and he would post a lot of guides for like PvE content. So it was always awesome to see his content. Okay, so this is a really old one, Daddy and Mommy Gaming. Mostly Mommy Gaming. This was around the time when we started getting Brutal Quest. She would post how you would build your team to be able to beat the Brutal Quest. I know Brutal Quest being hard was a long time ago, but super duper appreciate the way that she broke down how everything worked and why everything worked. So definitely a good memory for me. Astro Monkey, he posted actually different kinds of content, but one of my favorite things to see from him was he would do shorts where it would be like, "Oh, I built this character so you wouldn't have to" type thing. He did that for so many characters. But yeah, I think he eventually fell off, but it was super cool to see just like the humor that he brought into the game. Fox Talks Gaming, definitely a good channel. He would talk a lot about the political stuff related to the games, to just gotcha gaming in general, and I really appreciated all that kind of conversation. I'm a person that I just love hearing conversation about the game or about related games. I think he went into like Final Fantasy VII, probably Ever Crisis, but it's pretty good channel right there. McCrane, I gotta say thank you to McCrane. He he would post a lot of pull videos and he would always comment on my pull videos, but especially want to shout him out for being in WDL and doing really well in WDL, and also for he would always use Gargus, and that's what I remember him for. He basically made Gargus good. Not to say that Gargus wasn't good, but it was a joy to watch like the Gargus play, so that was really awesome. Thank you, McCrane. Arisaya, I hope I'm saying that right. Arisaya is, I think she was either in DGen's guild or at least in his Discord. She would also do like Trials of Reckoning and Guild Raid type things. She posted pull videos, and again, I just really like hearing her talk and just like talk about her experience, kind of the same way that DGen does, where they just talk about the characters and how they're using them. Super cool user. I wish I could have watched more of her videos. The Ultimate Chi is one of my favorite creators of this game. Sadly, haven't heard from him in a while, but he used to do pull videos, but he used to always do like PvP. He would do arena, and he would try to get like the longest streak possible on day one. Super appreciated his content. He would always talk about like slash resistance, slash penetration, like back when that came out, and it was really like awesome to see, just hear him talk about the way he thinks about the game. Super good player right there. Love this content. Lock on Me was another person. He posted a lot of like pull videos. He would just talk about the game. Again, I just love hearing people talk about the game. That is kind of what makes me feel in community. Again, like sometimes you go on Reddit and people are just saying negative things and ranting, but people like him would always just be talking about the game. Of course, there would be some negative things too, but like mostly just like talking about what they like about the game, right? Lockhart, another similar creator. He would just kind of talk about different aspects of the game. I really enjoyed what he talked about, though I feel like he didn't make videos on War of the Visions for too long. Still very much enjoyed. He also did pull videos too. Very much enjoyed his channel. X is just, he would pop up every so often, every time there was like a Sephiroth or something big. And it's funny because I didn't really see a lot of his videos, but I just checked his channel recently and he's got a lot of stuff there. So it's weird that I never really saw that many of his videos. Nokan Neko, hope I'm saying that right. So fun to watch his pull videos and basically his videos in general. It was hilarious because I think he had like over 200k viz, and I always had the sense that he knew what he was pulling for, whether it was like Nier or like one of the collabs. He's like, yeah, I know this is coming. I'm gonna be ready to pull on this. So super appreciate him, and I just super appreciate his just like mindset when he was pulling. Okay, just to keep going. So this is another older one, Nash Taters. He's actually probably the person that inspired me to make my channel the most. He would just post like daily videos. He would do like pulls. Back in the day when we had like random daily pulls and stuff like that, he would talk about the game. Definitely appreciate Nash Taters. I think his dog was named Taters and he was named Nash, something like that. So that's how the channel name came up. But super appreciative of him. Wolf Atlas, one of my guildmates and one of my buddies in real life. He posted a lot of MR guides and a lot of nightmare quests, and I think he pretty much did nightmare quests with MR characters, so that was really cool. He's also my guildmate. He's the guild leader. He did a great job. He's always a good player. I know him in real life. We have a lot of gaming stuff in common, so definitely a cool guy. I'm not sure if he's been posting a lot lately, but definitely one of my good friends. Chlorophyll is one of my guildmates. He was doing streams on War of the Visions. I'm not sure if he streams anymore, but he's still been playing the game. He always has something funny to say in the chat, or he's always doing something interesting, so shout out to him. HD Elder, I think a lot of his videos are like news videos, but he did also do a lot of PvP, and it was always fun to watch him play PvP because he had good teams, and I think he was playing since a long time ago. Uh, but his videos kind of started coming up maybe like last year. But he always did some good PvP videos, so I appreciate his channel. Divine Mew, we did a collab together a little bit. He's posted a lot of like, the best, the top 10, the best this class of stuff, the best of that. He posts a lot of streams and stuff like that, so that's cool. It was mostly my fault that we stopped doing the collab. I got just super busy and I couldn't really keep up with anything. So my bad on that, but Divine Mew, he's still been posting, he's still doing content. And we had a lot of conversations about the state of the game. I'll just leave it at that, but going by his channel, the stuff on his channel, you can tell how he feels about the game. So, and it's not anything bad. Like, we all want the game to be good. It's just like, it feels like they did a lot of bad decisions in the game, obviously. So to continue, and as I'm on Divine Mew, shout out to someone from his Discord server, Dio Dude, for helping us test, and Kitty Law, which I think she's going to come later on. She has a Twitch channel that she's still been posting on, and she does mostly quick pick match and class match type content. Okay, another person I'm going to mention is King Esper. I feel like he never really gets mentioned that much, but he's like a really old school guy. And I just remember how much he saved for his Ruinstern pulls. And I was just like, wow, I never knew you could save all that viz. So shout out to him. Suspect Amy. So I think we're getting into the women of War of the Vision. Suspect Amy, one of my favorite channels for War of the Visions. A really cool person in general. A lot of us are always talking about how hard it was to start this game and how hard it is. She did a lot of newbie guides, and one of my favorite guides of hers was the Chocobo Expedition guides, where she basically tested it out for like a month to see what were the drops, and she basically explained exactly how it worked. I think she came to the conclusion that you should only spend your tickets when there's fever, and then the bonus doesn't matter as long as you have fever, and the bonus really mattered more so for the passive farms. With super good content from her. She was super detailed in what she did, and she left for a while. She came back. Sadly, she came back to the game that was in like not the greatest state. So, but super appreciative to have her in the community. I am Adora. I love watching her videos just because she's so casual. She kind of just goes for pulls and stuff like that. I believe she has a Discord, if not a stream, but definitely always enjoyed watching her videos. AEW for making a bunch of guides, like Nightmare Quest, that type of stuff. That's the content that I know him the most for. But it's so funny, I always see his name pop up, and I remember he used to be AEW, then he changed it. I guess that's his real name. So, cool guy right there. WOTV Carl. Again, he posted a lot of Nightmare Quest, and I think he also did tower stuff too. So it was really cool to see how much effort he puts in that stuff, and Legendary Reliquary. So definitely a good channel right there, even though there's not that many videos. I think this is Kitty Law. Kitty Law's on Twitch, so if you want to check her out. So that's it in terms of the people I wanted to thank. Hopefully I got everybody. I wanted to make sure to say thanks to as many of the small creators that I could, or like not the small creators necessarily, but the lesser known creators. So definitely shout out to all of them. And of course I want to give special thanks to Justin. I just want to hope that his career and connections take him to the places that he wants to be. But the only thing is that I would hope that wherever he ends up going, that he doesn't get stuck behind too much red tape, because I feel like a lot of what we knew from him, like we didn't really get to interact with him too much because he couldn't really say a lot of what he might have wanted to say. Okay, and then lastly is half a thanks to Hiroki, and that's only because he kind of just hasn't been around for a while. So that's kind of sucked. I'm not gonna blame it fully on him. I'm gonna just say that's mostly Square Enix's fault. So screw Square Enix for for demanding so much out of this game, and I don't know, kind of just I feel like Square Enix really hurt the game in a lot of ways. I don't like how they're doing a live stream tomorrow, I think. So it's just kind of really, it just feels like it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. In terms of like nobody has really said anything for a while. I mean, there's been a couple of streams or videos or whatever, but nobody has really said anything for a while, and it's kind of weird to just come out tomorrow after announcing EoS to have a stream. It just doesn't sit right with me. All right, so that's all when it comes to thanks, and then the last part is gonna just be a rant. In terms of gacha games, I'm pretty much done with gacha games or anything that's games as a service. I want to own my games. I want to have a physical copy of my games. I want my games to have endings. I do not want to play games that last forever. As much as I thought that was something that I would love, I don't want to play games that last forever. I don't want to play games that make me work. I don't want to play games. I don't want to play any more gacha games. I'm not going to start any more gacha games. I hate how terrible it is that we don't get to own and we don't get to still play what's left of this game or any other gacha game that ends or comes to an end of service, even though we're the paying customers. We have so little to say in how the game is shaped, even though we're the ones supporting it. We, in this game in particular, but probably in most games, it feels like we're second-class citizens compared to JP players. Again, there's always been a sense that Global doesn't make enough money for them to care about us. But the fact of the matter is that Square or whoever the big company is basically just comfortable just sitting under established IPs and try to exploit us for the characters that we love. So I kind of am not a big fan of that. And honestly, I feel like Square burned a lot of goodwill with their sort of like the way they operate, essentially. And then also when it came to Final Fantasy Rebirth, the way that it was a PS5 exclusive, even after Remake was a PS4 game, I really think that they just made the money play, the play that would get them the most money by making it PlayStation 5 exclusive. And I'm glad that they suffered for that. So I don't really have a lot of kind words to say for Square. I'm still interested in future Final Fantasy games, just definitely not going to play any gacha games. So sort of the nature of gacha games doesn't really allow for a lot of game improvement. That being said, the quality of life of this game has actually been pretty good. Just thinking back to how bad things were at the beginning of the game, quality of life wise, they've done a really good job of improving that. So I'm at least thankful for that. While we were constantly getting content in terms of characters, we rarely saw improvements when it came to gameplay. There's so many more modes that this game could have had. I just think of like competitive games, like even Pokemon. People rant about Pokemon all the time, but at least they've come up with over the years. They've come up with a lot of different cool modes and things and different changes to competitive play. Like nowadays, it's pretty crappy, but at least at some point they had it. So I wish they could have done that. So some of the examples of quality life improvements were the background repeat for War of the Visions, I'm just thinking of my old phone, how the battery is absolutely dead because we would always just constantly leave our phone plugged in overnight farming, and that pretty much destroyed any sense of battery my phone would ever have. Um, Again, we never really got much in terms of custom matchmaking settings. I feel like this game could have done a lot better with that. And it was kind of weird to see that the Grand Arena was really cool. I'm glad that they finally did something with that, especially the MR battles. But it kind of sucks that that was like a week ago, right? Like 2 weeks before EoS. So it's just like they weren't really ever planning to give it to us. They were just like, you know what, EoS is coming, let's give it to them. And that was pretty much the most fun I've ever had in Arena. I think I ranked in like top 7 or 800. So that was a lot of fun. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of that rant. Uh, I just wanted to say that a fighting game like Street Fighter 6 would be okay, even though it's kind of similar to a game as a service. You still own the game. You can still play the game whenever you feel like it, even after the game is dead. You can download your DLC characters and you can keep them. And obviously, they cost like $5 a piece, so you don't have to worry about like trying to pull for a DLC character. So for in terms of my future plans, as much as I want to continue making videos and playing games on this channel, I'm not sure of my capacity to be able to do that. My attention span, my focus, my discipline type things. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to be able to do in terms of that. So I don't know. But one thing I am going to be doing is playing a game called Real Life, mostly because of how realistic it is. But the downside is that all the pain and suffering is also pretty realistic. So that's going to be the downside. But yeah, I'm mostly going to try to just focus on doing things in real life, trying to get my life together. Not that it's like that apart, but I just want to move forward in things in my life. While it was great to play this game after, like during COVID and after that stuff, um, definitely time to kind of just get back on the wagon for real life stuff. Uh, I don't know if I ever said it on this channel, but I struggled after COVID. After having caught COVID, I had like a lot of long-term side effects, and making videos for this game was a lot of what kind of helped me stay motivated and not dread how terrible I felt after having caught COVID. And I think part of the reason I never said that might be because the word COVID was flagged, and I've said COVID enough times in a row already that if it's still flagged, well, I'm going to get flagged. So overall, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody that I mentioned, and also just thanks to everybody in general for being part of the game. No thanks to the people who are always talking about the doom of the game. And yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's one thing to do a rant, a very justified rant, but like to just always talk about the EoS is just a pain in the ass. So I hate those people. Aside from that, I love you all, the rest of you. Thanks for making this game great. Thanks for all the good times. Thanks for whatever funny memes and whatever you posted. So definitely going to miss this community. Most of us are going to still be around just playing other stuff, but it's going to be hard to have that same kind of connection that we all had. But I've already made this video long enough, so that's going to be me signing out. I'm probably going to try to make another video or two. You'll see when they come out. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.